Well, hi everyone, I'm Rose Hardy and we're here today at Southern Haven Facilities here on Hag Mill Road in Dalton area. And we have a special guest here today. He has opted to come and be a spokesperson for the staff here at Southern Haven. And it is the famous, not only famous, but the great coach, Chip Kell.
Thank you for that introduction.
Chip,
I appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming out today and talking to us.
My pleasure.
And what brought you here?
Actually, I was getting in depth as a caretaker, and I was introduced to the whole new meaning of caretaking. There's different levels, obviously, and it came to a point where to give my parents what they really needed, we had to put them in somewhere else besides family, taking care of them, looking after them.
Right.
And we've been at a facility and we're not very happy with it, and this place was recommended to me actually, and so I took a shot and came over here with my parents.
Both parents?
Both parents, had both parents at the time, and as soon as we walked in the door, it was just a Christian attitude and feeling here, comfortable home feeling here.
Right. That's what I felt when I walked in the door.
And it's been that way ever since, quite frankly. And my parents felt comfortable here. Of course, they had doctors that would come in and out here, and there were things being done here besides talking about money and how much more it's going to cost and this, that, and the other. There were more things going on here besides that. It was more taking care of what would make my parents comfortable.
Unlike the other places they were, it was a little different from
A
here.
whole lot different, very noticeable, yes.
When did you bring them? When did you bring your parents here?
About on their anniversary, January 1st of this
my.
past year, yeah. They've been married 68 years.
Well, it was wonderful that you could keep them together.
That's correct. That was very important to me
Right.
as well.
And you know, a lot of people, a lot of families, you don't have the means to take care of them and keep it. Most people would want to keep them at home if they can.
That was the number one thing that we tried to do, and we did for quite a while. But that was what I was talking about, steps. You can come so far at
Right.
home and doing it yourself to where you feel like you're not good enough.
Right.
And they need more care than what we could give at home, my sister and I. So that's when we started looking for something better.
And now you just have the one parent here.
Yes, my father passed away April 19th, and they were so good here during that time, and so warm and caring, and helped my mother and helped me and my family through that time. And that was another thing that really came home to me, because at that time we needed it very much, and it was here.
And I think Sophie was telling me in one of the earlier conversations I had with her that they hand-fed your father while he was ill.
It was my mother.
It was your mother, okay.
My mother, when my mother came in here, she had gotten where she wouldn't even eat, she was losing a lot of weight, and they had fed her right back to where now she's eating on her own and even doing her exercises with a therapist and all.
So this is just like
Tremendous.
another home at home for you.
No doubt.
And you can come and see her anytime you wish.
Anytime I wish, I come over and visit, and I feel right at home myself. That's the kind of atmosphere it's here.
And you were telling me about the surgery you're going to have?
That's another thing. I've got to have a third replacement surgery on my shoulder, and the reason I'm bringing that up is the fact that here I feel like I can do that because I'm going to be out
Out of
commission for
Right.
several weeks, and I'm not worried about my mother because I know she'll be taken care of.
So
And
you're just like
that's
part of the
important.
family here anyway. Is that right?
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and just stay tuned, everyone. We're going to be talking to some more of the fine folks here at Southern Haven. now I'm talking to Sophie Ting. She's the owner here at Southern Haven. Sophie, thank you so much for having us out today.
Thank you.
And tell us some more about the activities or the things that you have to offer here.
When we have new resident camp, we always ask what's their favorite food. If we don't have it in the menu yet, we always add it into our menu.
Wonderful.
So this is a home to them. They get to eat whatever
I
they
would never have thought about that. That is a wonderful idea.
Yes, and we have the activity. We have the we have a wonderful church member come to visit us. We have homeschooling groups come and visiting us, and yeah, we get this we are very busy home here.
And you have a lot of you have music as well.
Yes, yes.
So you have a lot. It's just like being at home.
Yes, yes.
That's wonderful.
And the love is the most important thing. Yes.
And speaking of the love, you know, we were talking earlier, and you told me how rewarding it was to have this place. Tell us about that.
It was that I know I always love people, and in Southern Haven, when I come and love all these people, but I was amazed how much more they love me back.
Yeah.
And that kind of rewarding is so fulfilling.
Yeah. Tell us how you got here. Tell us your story.
Well, I have the degree in Bachelor in Electrical Engineer, and I have my graduate study in Electrical Engineer and concentrating Computer Engineer, and I work in the high tech. And while I was in the graduate school, I helped my professor to write the textbook of electrical engineer for the country. So that's how far I have gone on my electrical engineering career. And I work in the Hewlett-Packard. I work on the network equipment group to design the software to operate the CPUs in the equipment. So that was my previous life. And then when the life come to a fork, and I have stayed home to raise my children, and when they all gone to school, and it's a time for me to look at my life again. And I asked God, should I go back to be an electrical engineer, or I take another path? So I have a very, very long prayer throughout the night. I kneel down and ask God to give me the answer. So the next day, I was in the Chuck E. Cheese for the birthday party, my children's birthday party. And as I settled down, my kids, and there's this lady walked by, and she told me that we met before. I barely remember her. And I was reading a business book, which I had a passion about because I came from a business family.
So you were thinking about doing something else in your career?
Yes, yes. And so she walked by, and she told me this book is really good. They follow this book, and they both quit she and her husband quit the job in the IBM, and they start their own entrepreneurs and their own business. And I called my husband, that I told him, I know this is what God wants me to do. And for half a year, I was looking and searching, and nothing really happened. So I decided to buy the resume paper to write my resume and go back to the electrical engineer. So, and I walk into the Office Depot, Office Max. And before I even get to reach the resume paper, this lady showed up again. I was stunning, and she was there. I couldn't believe it. So I had to stop her and tell her how I met her that day, last time in Chuck E. Cheese, and she still remembers. But for half a year, nothing has came up as my searching, as my day. I spent so much effort of searching. So I decided I really is going back
to work.
And then as I decided that this came, I was presented with Southern
This
Haven.
opportunity to buy
yes.
this.
But the path was another impossibility for the loan to pass through the banks. And with all the impossibility, God made that happen.
So it's just been a God thing from
It-
the day one.
Yes, it's absolutely God's
Just
calling.
a blessing, and you're still getting blessed because you're
Yes.
getting residents, and
Yes.
but we just really want everyone here in this area that are faced with the hardship or whatever you want to call it, that they have to be a caretaker or they can't be a caretaker,
Yes.
and they need an option or a place to look at. Please come and check out Southern Haven, because it is a wonderful place. And I just want to say right quick that you're located on Hag Mill Road. What is your address here?
279 Hake Mill Road.
Okay, and we will have that address posted on the screen, as well as the phone number. If you have any questions, just give them a call. Here's a great, friendly staff. And until next time, I'm Rose Hardy here at Southern Haven.